Hi and welcome. We've just had the budget. The Chancellor just stood up in the House of Commons, gave us an update as to how the UK economy is performing. He reduced his estimates for GDP growth over the next few years, said the economy isn't doing as well as had been expected. Main reason for that is uncertainty surrounding Brexit, and he's made some extra money available for housing specifically. Housing has become one of the biggest political hot potatoes of recent times. The Chancellor has removed stamp duty from first-time buyers buying any property up to $300,000 and reduced it for them up to purchases below $500,000. So that could be £5,000 worth of stamp duty saved for a first-time buyer in a 300 grand house, and maybe a little bit more than that up to £500,000 house. Clearly it doesn't necessarily help with the deposit, which is the biggest issue, but with Help to Buy still around and with other schemes available from house builders and banks, it's a welcome addition. So it's probably going to be a positive thing, but of course what it's likely to do is increase house prices over the medium term, which is probably not what he was looking to do. He's also going to allow councils to charge 100% surcharge on council tax for properties that are empty. That's quite big for those who've got residential rental properties like we have. Effectively what they're saying is if the council tax is £1,200 a year, if you left it empty for a year at the moment, the council could charge the council tax plus a 50% surcharge. Well, they're increasing that to 100%. So your council tax on properties that are empty or have got voids could go up significantly. So that's something to watch. It's just trying to encourage landlords to bring properties into use and developers to move people into those properties. One big headline that he has announced today is that he's going to put $44 billion of capital funding to help build 300,000 homes by the mid-2020s. So it's a significant amount of money. I don't know quite how much effect it's going to have between now and 2025, because obviously that's a long time, that's a lot of houses. Of course, you know, where does that money go? How does it get recycled? The effect of it remains to be seen. It will be interesting though. Some of that money I expect to go to a fund to lend to small builders. We've been talking to the Home Builders Fund to borrow money to create new developments which can be sold to homeowners, whether on Help to Buy or into the wider market. So that is a promise of a lot of money to build new homes that wouldn't ordinarily have been built, but we'll have to see how the money's allocated and in what way it actually gets to the developers and the people buying the houses, because the government does have a history of coming out with these big announcements, talking about big sums of money, and the reality is that the rubber doesn't necessarily meet the road and it doesn't have that much effect. So that again remains to be seen. The Chancellor says he is declaring war on developers who land bank, don't bring their land supply into use. So that's developers and investors who have land, they've got planning permission on it, and they don't bring it forward and build on it so they can create new homes and create new housing supply. So I suspect there's going to be some sort of levy, tax or something within the planning consent that means that they've got to get on and build those properties quicker than they ordinarily would have done. There's going to be a review chaired by Oliver Letwin of the Conservative Party to look at ways of speeding up planning permission. I could help them with that. More permitted development rights is a very simple way to deal with that. Certainly with the office conversions, that's been a fantastic thing. Being able to take offices and convert them into residential without planning permission. It looks like they're going to be reviewing ways of rolling those kind of consents out. I was expecting more permitted development rights today and I didn't see any, but they could be on their way shortly, certainly after this review. So in terms of buy-to-let landlords and you know, residential property investors, no major news today, no other changes in terms of stamp duty. I didn't see any changes in terms of mortgage interest relief. I didn't see any changes to people looking to put properties in a limited company or incorporation relief, which allows you to transfer properties from your own name into a limited company without paying stamp duty or capital gains tax. I didn't see any of those rules or regulations change. So as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty positive. I had seen some noises before the budget, potentially increasing tax on buy-to-let again, but he didn't do that. Apparently he wants to wait to see the effect of removing mortgage interest relief because it won't be fully rolled out till 2020 and see what effect that has on the market. So at the moment, no other changes apart from that 100% council tax surcharge if you leave a property empty. So effectively they can double the amount of council tax you would ordinarily pay for the period that the property is empty. And if you're selling properties to first-time buyers below 300,000, they won't have to pay stamp duty. So there's probably a benefit there for developers, and they'll also have reduced stamp duty on purchases up to 500,000. That's been Mark Homer on the autumn budget update. Thank you for listening.